Live from the studios at the University of Kansas, you are watching KUJH-TV News.
The Lawrence City Commission finally hears both sides of the Hub apartment debate, how the City Commission voted at the end of a 4-hour commission meeting.
And the university is still silent a month after the Angry White Men course caught the attention of national news. Why the university is choosing to keep quiet.
Plus, there's a new station coming to town, but it's not for a train. How the proposed new bus station will impact transportation across the city. Welcome to KUJH News. I'm Emily Natwick.
And I'm Becky Phelps.
After hours of debate, the Lawrence City Commission said they won't move forward on a controversial Mass Street Hub apartment proposal. Jake Kaufman is downtown to fill us in on its decision. Jake, how did last night's meeting change the city's mind?
Hey Emily, City commissions didn't vote on an appeal until 1 a.m. last night, nearly 3 hours after listening to testimony from Lawrenceans. It was there where they voted unanimously not to move forward with the complex as it did not meet with downtown city guidelines. Early this morning, the Lawrence City Commission unanimously denied the necessary certifications needed to move forward with a 5-story downtown apartment complex.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Okay, please.
The Chicago-based developer Core Spaces wanted to build a student-oriented complex. The Hub complex would sit on the south lot of the downtown district where the current Allen Press building is. The commission unanimously decided the Hub did not comply with downtown design standards. It is also denied that demolition of the current buildings on the lot. The commission cited the Historic Resource Commission's early decision to deny 2 required certifications. Citizens of Lawrence came out in force against the Hub, citing multiple issues the complex might cause for the downtown area. Their complaints included inadequate parking spaces, an increase of traffic, and the height of the building exceeding the surrounding structures. The commissioners agreed on not moving the project forward with the current proposal. Commissioner Ananda said the city should review their downtown guidelines as they are often vague and outdated. This issue may now be sent back to the Preservation Board, but for now, there will be no permits allowed for the project. While the committee was split on why not to go through with the complex, they were all in agreement that it was incomplete and that the cons outweighed the pros. Live from Massachusetts streets, Jake Kaufman, KUJH News, back to you.
Well, my basement has been flooding the past couple days.
Oh no, that's not good.
Not how I wanted to be using my beach towels in the month of May.
Well, it's not going to warm up anytime soon, if that makes you feel any better. And we have another round of rainfall coming up this evening. So let's get to that here now. It's 73 degrees out there, so it is actually pretty nice out there this afternoon. We are seeing a mostly cloudy sky, though. It is very saturated, so we do not need any more rainfall, but we will be seeing some more rainfall as we head on into your evening, late evening, overnight hours. So we're waiting on that rainfall to come in, and it's breezy. Winds gusting up to 15, 20, even 25 miles per hour out there. Take a look at our current satellite radar. As you're looking off to our west, some thunderstorm activity beginning to develop. That will continue to track off to our east and then make its way into the eastern Kansas Lawrence area as we head on into the 7 to 9 o'clock hours is what I'm really looking at right now. The potential for severe weather, however, though, is on the low end. The better chances down in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas. We are still in that marginal risk, so slight chance for a severe thunderstorm, but I think mostly just heavy rainfall is all we're going to be seeing here. So my storm impacts for this evening, large hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes all low, but that potential for some flash flooding is pretty high. And that's because whatever does fall here overnight will not be able to be absorbed by the ground because it's already saturated. So we'll have a lot of runoff with our rainfall tonight. So heavy rainfall possible. Below average temperatures for your day tomorrow. It's going to be nice and chilly. And then sun, you there? Yeah, we'll see if we can get some sun back in the forecast, all coming up.
Thanks, Warren. The first step for a victim seeking help from the Willow Domestic Violence Center is calling the organization, but its director says a new approach may work for those who don't have access to phones or can't come in. Every Thursday from 9 till noon, victims can go to the Lawrence Public Library to meet with an employee from the center to seek help, learn about services, or get aid. The center is working with the Lawrence Public Library to eliminate domestic violence and human trafficking. It provides this resource as an alternative option for those who aren't able to come to the center directly.
One thing we wanted to do was have those services not just available for people to call in, which is what they normally do. They would call into the hotline and request those services, but also have a tangible place where people could go and visit with a community advocate.
On average, the center sees 65 clients annually for help with their specific needs. A Linwood couple is still seeking answers after their son vanished in 1988. The 31st anniversary of Randy Leach's mysterious disappearance has them worrying time is running out. KUJH reporter Angelica Costello says the family is pleading for help from Governor Kelly.
The only child of Alberta and Harold Leach was 17 when he disappeared on April 16, 1988. Randy drove his mother's gray Dodge 600 to a pre-graduation party. No one has seen him or the car since. The Leaches say they have searched for decades and fear they'll never find the truth.
We don't know if they overdosed him or what happened. There's been so many stories about a cave, satanic activity. So we don't know any more today than we did 31 years ago.
The family has grown frustrated at what they feel are unanswered questions from local law enforcement. They worry their son's case hasn't gotten the investigation it deserves. They filed a lawsuit to obtain police records, but a Leavenworth County judge denied them access. Now they are asking for additional help.
It may be someone higher up, if not the president, to investigate some of this. Hire the right people.
The Leaches are circulating a petition that would require Governor Kelly to sign an executive order and assign an out-of-state special master to the case. That person would form a cold case task force to do a full investigation on Randy's disappearance. Communications Director of KBI, Melissa Underwood, says over the years, new agents were assigned to review the case with fresh eyes. When any new leads emerge, KBI follows them until they run out, and all viable leads were pursued for the Leach case. In Lawrence, Angelica Costello, KUJH News.
The Leavenworth County Sheriff's Office says their office reviews this missing persons case every month. They continue to follow up on leads, and the case remains their focus.
KU Sexual Awareness and Prevention Education Center wants the provost and chancellor to acknowledge the sexual assault that happens at the university. Students from there wrote more than 100 letters to the provost, the chancellor, and those in Kansas government. One SAPEC peer educator says all responsibility is on SAPEC to educate students, where they say in the letters the university itself should be doing more. SAPEC says their recent letter campaign was a success.
And our goal was really just to let people in those positions of power that students really care and they want something done.
The provost and chancellor have not released statements. The university reports all crime statistics each year. 2017 was the most recent report. There were 23 cases of rape where the victims were KU students. The Angry White Male Studies class caused quite a stir when it appeared on the KU class schedule for the 2019-2020 school year. KUJH reporter Harold Johnson is live in the newsroom. Harold, how did this class even get added to the curriculum?
Well, Becky, as you could imagine, adding any class to KU's curriculum is a process. But the process for adding classes to the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences isn't as tedious as you might think. The Angry White Male Studies class is a new gender studies course swimming in a sea of controversy. The course description states, the class will chart the rise of the angry white male in America and Britain since the 50s, and also evaluate the recent manifestations of male anger. Backlash came swiftly from various people, including Kansas Republican Congressman Ron Estes, who says the course divides the student population and creates a hostile campus environment. Despite the backlash, the class piqued student interest. 30 available seats, every one of them taken. But before the class could even make its way to the university registrar, it started out as a proposal. Professors seeking to add classes to the KU College of Liberal Arts and Sciences curriculum must first submit a course proposal to the Curriculum Inventory Management System. The Committee on Undergraduate Studies and Advising reviews the proposals and sends them to the College Assembly. It has the power to approve the classes for the curriculum. I contacted the Angry White Male Studies instructor, Dr. Christopher Forth, to gain insight on his class and this process. He responded that he's declining all requests for interviews both locally and internationally. I also contacted the undergraduate committee liaison, Dr. Holly Storkel, about the process. She didn't respond to my emails, phone call, or voicemail. I even reached out to the Office of Liberal Arts and Sciences interim dean, Dr. Clarence Lang. He was not available at the time, and his liaison instead directed me to the department's bylaws on adding classes. I asked about other possible times to meet, but I didn't receive a response. Despite getting national attention, no one from KU has released an official statement or been willing to meet with reporters regarding the class. Live in the newsroom, Harold Johnson, KUJH News.
The intersection of Bob Billings Parkway and Crestline Drive will see a lot more vehicular action soon. The City of Lawrence selected the site for a new bus transfer hub, which will include an indoor bus station and serve as a transfer point coordinated with the KU bus service. City staff will work with KU to analyze the site, design a proposal, and create a land use agreement since the university owns the property. The city set aside about $5 million to conduct the transfer hub.
Well, that's a big project, but I think it'll do a lot of good.
Absolutely. We love the bus system.
Yeah, especially in college. Still to come on KUJH News, if you are the first person in your family to go to college, you might be in luck. What the university is doing to further support first-generation college students.
And Trump uses his presidential privilege to keep certain things quiet. What the future holds for his executive action. Stay with us.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Another summer day has come and gone away. From Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. Let me go home. It'll all be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.
The university says it's committed to making sure that first-generation college students are successful, and people are noticing. The Center for First-Generation Student Success named KU a university dedicated to improving experiences and outcomes for these students. KUJH reporter Dante Green tells us what Kansas is doing so well.
The University of Kansas has created programs dedicated to making sure students at the university can succeed in their academic endeavors and feel comfortable in their new college homes. While only 27% of first-generation college students complete their bachelor's degrees in 4 years, the university says it's working hard to increase these numbers and wants to let students know they are not alone.
Well, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do was have students realize that there are faculty and staff on campus that are first generation as well. A lot of your professors are first gen.
School programs such as First Generation Open House has allowed students to connect with others like them. Every few months or so, Kansas brings them together in celebration. Other initiatives such as I Am First 2 aims to build a network and have students tell what it means to be first gen to them. School officials say it's programs like these that make first gen students feel they can succeed despite being the first in their families.
We wanted to be able to cultivate a sense of pride among them and to celebrate being first generation.
As recently as 2015, the school accepted an $8.9 million grant to help first gen and low income students. The university and its teachers say they are committed to continuing their mission to help first-generation students. In Lawrence, Dante Green, KUJH News.
With graduation fast approaching, the university says it expects at least a dozen or so of first-generation students to be moving on in the next several weeks. KU says it will always welcome those who are looking to become the first in their families.
Let's take a quick look at news from across the nation. The White House says they will assert executive privilege to block access to the fully redacted Mueller report. They made the decision after the Judiciary Committee refused to delay the vote on a contempt charge against Attorney General William Barr. This is the first time Trump is using this executive power. The Democrats have the majority in the House, so the contempt charge is likely to stick. Another school shooting devastates a Denver suburb and takes the life of a student days before his graduation. Authorities say 2 students entered classrooms and opened fire at STEM school yesterday, killing a student and injuring 8 others. The school is only 7 miles away from Columbine High School. It's the 33rd school shooting in the U.S. this year. Some people do crazy things to get their hands on whiskey, but one Colorado man took it to a new level. The suspect walked out of Costco with a cart full of unpaid Hennessy. He appears to walk right past cashiers, wheeling the 24 bottles out. At one point, an employee stops him, but eventually allows him to leave the store. He also took a security system. The stolen goods add up to $1,500. And that's a look at news from across the nation.
Well, you were saying that we're not on severe thunderstorms, so that's I'm looking forward to that.
Exactly, just another chance for some more rainfall tonight, and then we dry out for your day tomorrow, but much cooler conditions. Details coming up.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Jessica, we need to leave right now.
I need to get something. Dance recitals are so boring.
There's a meaning no one knows. Wait until we set
So,
free.
what's the empty suitcase for?
The grand prize trophy.
Duh.
Confidence. Pass it on.
I was born to be somebody.
Plans are usually about getting some sun and enjoying time with friends and family. But as KUJH reporter Andrew Collins explains, bad air quality can sneak up on you and cause serious health problems.
People with respiratory problems are no stranger to hospital visits. One of the factors every year, air pollution. The number of cars on the road and planned field burns are both key contributors. Pulmonologists with KU Med say pollutants create issues for people with ongoing illnesses.
Leads to increased symptoms, maybe hospitalization, mortality potentially.
National Weather Service data says the Kansas City area has the most problems with air quality in the Sunflower State. Doctors say knowing your own health is also important in battling breathing problems. Not knowing what is bothering your system can be the difference between being healthy and being in the emergency room. Meteorologists with the Kansas Department of Health and Environment say the people can take precautions by avoiding the outdoors during bad times.
If you are going into an area that may have some of that smoke and you have pre-existing conditions like asthma, you might take some precautions to stay inside during those times when that smoke might be bad in the area.
Wearing a surgical mask like this one when you have to go out can also reduce the risk of respiratory infections and breathing complications. In Lawrence, Andrew Collins, KUJH News.
The KDHE recommends conserving electricity, keeping your car engines maintained, and using paints and cleaning products that are safe for the environment to help control pollution.
Live shot out. Looks like we're down on Mass Street here, and you can see some ominous looking clouds out there. Nothing is imminent yet. We are tracking some storms off to the west that have really just developed over the last hour or so. Those will continue to track off to the east and bringing us a better chance for some thunderstorms as we head on into the evening. So current look at our live radar out there. Like I mentioned, those storms off and to the west there developing. Looks like just west of Salina there. We'll continue to march their way over into our area. Now, let's take one look at that river forecast. So the Kansas River here at Lawrence actually is in an action stage, forecasted to go into that minor flood stage. If you've passed the river lately, you know there's a lot of water moving through that river right now, and we are looking to add even more as we head on in through the overnight hours. A look at our precipitation check since May 1st, so this is just a couple days old here. We're at a surplus of just shy of 2 inches. So we've had a lot of rainfall here in the last week or so, and even since January 1st, look at this, we're just over 3 3/4 of an inch of a surplus. We're doing well for precipitation, but because of that, those surpluses, we are seeing some flooding, especially down near Wichita. They're seeing a lot of flooding down there as well. Currently very saturated out there. We're waiting on that rainfall to march into the area, 73 degrees. It is a little bit breezy, that wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25. Precipitation chance out there for about a 40% over the next couple hours or so. Regional temperatures here, we're in a nice area of some southern moisture and southern warmth. Behind this little line of storms that we're seeing off to our west is some cold air. Seeing some 30s in northern Nebraska right now. Tomorrow, our conditions will be quite chilly as this front rolls through overnight tonight. You can see that front here just off to our west, and that is what is initiating these showers and thunderstorms, that frontal boundary here. So like I said, cold front coming through tonight, so some moderate to heavy rainfall possible here in the next few hours. Much cooler tomorrow, for your day tomorrow, and then Friday the sun finally does return. Pollen forecast for tomorrow, trees very high, grass moderate, and weeds low. I'm very excited for those to finally leave because they are not treating me very well. Our evening planner out there, 70 degrees at 6. That best chance for rainfall between 6 and 9, and then after midnight that chance decreases significantly, but then we're in the 50s. The wind out of the north. Tomorrow, 56 degrees. That cold front, like I mentioned, is moving through overnight. Mostly cloudy skies for your day. Winds out of the north though, so a nice and chilly bite for your day tomorrow. You'll want a jacket for sure. Futurecast here showing that spotty activity moving closer to the area by 8 o'clock or so. We'll see some spotty activity. I don't think it's a soaking widespread overnight event. We'll see a couple spotty thunderstorm cells moving through overnight, and then all in all moving out by your morning tomorrow. 7-day forecast here, 56. I'm so sorry about this. 63 warming up a little, and then a warming trend as we head on into the weekend. Looking nice and dry for any weekend sports out there this weekend, and then back into the mid-70s by next week.
Thanks, Warren. I'm glad that the rain is slowing down so baseball can finally get back to playing at home.
And that's true, and I'm surprised that they were able to actually get any of them off. We will take a look at the results of Kansas baseball's doubleheader up next. Plus, stick around because we will look at Kansas's Sweet 16 matchup this Friday and the NCAA tournament. Make sure you stay with us.
Can we get strawberries? Okay.
My twin brother Jacob has an autism spectrum disorder. He didn't have any friends as a result. It broke my heart. That was the inspiration behind my nonprofit Score a Friend. Educating people to include people with differences is so important because when Jacob's included, he feels like he can succeed in life and he feels like he actually has a purpose.
Welcome back. Kansas baseball played at Jackson State in a doubleheader yesterday at Hoagland Ballpark. This is their second to last home series of the season. And KU won the first game 2-1, sorry about the correction there, and then dropped the second one 7-8. And in the second game, the Jayhawks went up 4-0 through 4 innings. Jackson State stormed back with 4 runs in the 5th, 1 run in the 6th, and 3 runs in the 7th inning. That game marked the first loss in program history versus Jackson State. The overall series is 3-1. And the month of May has been overall good to the Jayhawks, starting them off on the end of their schedule with a 5-game win streak. Kansas will try to bounce back against a 3-game series against TCU and Fort Worth this weekend. Last Saturday afternoon, the 14th ranked Kansas tennis team beat the 24th ranked Florida 4-2 in the second round of the NCAA tournament. This is the first trip of the to the Sweet 16 for the program since 1998. Kansas has a monster matchup this Friday as they take on the 3rd-ranked Stanford Cardinal. Stanford is 24-1 on the season, with their first loss coming against the Georgia Bulldogs back in February. Jayhawks tennis is 21-4 on the season themselves, so in no way, shape, or form is this team an easy out. This will just be the toughest team that the Big 12 champs have played all season. Stanford has beat 15 teams this season that were ranked less than 50 overall. So for more than half of their schedule, it was chock full of quality teams. The Jayhawks have beaten their fair share of undefeated teams as well, most notably being the 7th-ranked Texas in the Big 12 championships. We will know the results of the tennis team by early Friday evening. If Kansas can will themselves to victory, they will play next Friday down in Orlando, Florida, and that would be a nice way to wrap up finals week. The Kansas softball team most likely will be their season will most likely be coming to an end this weekend. The Big 12 tournament is around for the softball season. The Jayhawks are set to take on the 4th best conference team, Texas Tech, on Friday at 11 a.m. Then they play the top of the Big 12 Oklahoma Sooners later into the night. The 15-35 overall team has been struggling as of late since the last half of the schedule is just Big 12 teams. The Jayhawks are on an 8-game losing streak. Their last win came on April 19th, coincidentally against Texas Tech. In fact, the softball team has only won 1 game out of their last 15. That is a streak that goes back to more than a month ago at the very beginning of April. The Chiefs' all-time leader in tackles has signed a 1-day contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. In Derrick Johnson's 14-year career, 13 of the seasons were spent in the red and gold. Derrick Johnson went to college at Texas and was selected back into the 2005 NFL Draft at number 15th overall. Johnson was a consistent starter throughout his years as a Chief, and he even started in 15 games in his last season with the team. And the team did not want to re-sign the veteran due to age and not wanting to cough up that amount of money. Johnson signed with the Oakland Raiders for the last season, playing in 6 games and starting in 1. He posted 14 solo tackles last season. He was released by Oakland halfway through the season last year. Supposedly, he wanted to leave on his own. Ever since he left the Raiders, it has been believed the 4-time Pro Bowler's next route would be exactly what the Chiefs announced today. And that is it in the world of sports today. What do we have left for news, Emily?
Well, Zach, still to come on KUJH News, all eyes on the UK as the world finally gets a look at the new royal baby. See the Duke and Duchess of Sussex latest interview when we come back.
Your girls have been with you through every moment of your life. They were with you when you felt unbreakable, and with you when you had your heart broken. They were with you when you shared your love with the world, and with you when she became your world. They're still with you right now. But how well do you know them? You don't know my name.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex gave the world its first glimpse of the newly named royal baby. The couple stepped out of Windsor Castle with him just 2 days after his birth. The Queen and Duke of Edinburgh met him privately just minutes before the parents announced his name was Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan have chosen not to use a royal title for their firstborn. A statement from Buckingham Palace says the entire royal family is delighted with the news.
What a cute baby.
Precious.
What a name.
What,
name, right?
What a name.
Yeah,
That's
what
a big
a
one,
name.
even for the royal family.
Incredible.
Well, that's KUJH News for Wednesday, May 8th.
To view our stories again or to share them with your friends, visit our website at tv.ku.edu.
And today is our last newscast for the semester, but if you come back in September, we'll be here right here at 4 for the latest news, weather, and sports.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great summer.